So you might, for a moment, just close your eyes and we'll just practice a little bit together again. Sometimes when I'm lost in thought, when I'm living in a trance and I have enough remembrance to say, okay, let's plant myself back in the universe, the first part of planting is just to listen to the sounds that are actually right here. So you might just open up the attention to listen to sound. And then with that receptivity of listening, listen to and feel the sensations in the body. And I invite you with your eyes closed just to lift your hand and just let it be suspended in front of you. And let the awareness fill the hand so you can feel it as a constellation of sensations. And you might move the hand slowly back and forth. And just allow yourself to feel the aliveness that's there. Notice the difference between any idea of hand, any mental image. And you can, again, let it just be still. Any image or idea and the actual sensations that are suspended, playing, unfolding, vibrating in space. And with your eyes closed still, sense is there a center to what we might call hand? Can you detect any real boundaries? Is anything really holding still in what we call hand? You might gently allow the hand to lower, feeling both hands as sensations, the feet, the arms, the legs. Just letting the whole body light up as a field of sensation, points of light in a night sky. Tingling, vibrating. Is there any center to your body, to what you call yourself? If you feel there is, let the attention go right there and keep finding a center inside that. Is there? Is there any boundary to this body that we call self? Just sensing this living presence, this aliveness, wakefulness, space, that when we move from thoughts to our senses, what a mystery it is. Rumi says it this way. He says, be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Move outside the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. Flow down and down in always widening rings of being. opening your eyes. So what happens to us is that we can start quieting and touching into this aliveness and sense its mysterious, its vivid, its presence, and then know that we get dragged all over the place. So it takes a real dedication to keep practicing both in formal meditation and informally, whether we're walking or showering or washing the dishes or whatever, to keep our senses awake. And one of the inspirations is when we sense what it really does for us. And I'd like to, for some of you, remind you of I think one of the best social science experiments in history. In Washington, D.C., this was in 2007, so it was, oh gosh, a bunch of years ago, a man with a violin played 6 Bach pieces for about 45 minutes. It's in the metro station. During that time, approximately 2,000 people went through the station, most of them on their way to work. After 3 minutes, a middle-aged man noticed there was a musician playing. He slowed down, but then he had hurried on to meet his schedule. 4 minutes later, the violinist received his first dollar. The woman threw it in the hat and went on without stopping. 6 minutes later, a young man leaned against the wall to listen to him, then looked at his watch and started walking again. After 10 minutes, a 3-year-old boy stopped, but his mother tugged him along hurriedly. The kid stopped to look at the violinist again, but the mother pushed hard and the child continued to walk, turning his head all the time. This action was repeated by several other children. Every parent, without exception, forced their children to move on quickly. At the 45-minute point, the musician played continuously. Only 6 people stopped and listened for a short while. About 20 gave money but continued to walk at their normal pace. The man collected a total of $32. 1 hour. He finished playing and silence took over. No one noticed. No one applauded, nor was there any recognition. No one knew, but the violinist was Joshua Bell, one of the greatest musicians in the world. He played one of the most intricate pieces ever written with a violin worth $3.5 million. 2 days before, Joshua Bell sold at a theater in Boston where the seats averaged $100. Okay, so this is a true story. It was, for Washington folks, it's a little more familiar because it was in the Post. And so he was playing incognito in this metro station. They organized the whole thing as an experiment about perception and people's priorities. They're kind of asking, in a commonplace environment at an inappropriate time, do we perceive beauty? That is so interesting to me. I mean, it really gets to how much are we missing? When we are in our trance of an unreal life, which is, I have to be getting somewhere else, now is not what matters, I'm on my way. How many of you have that a lot of the time? I'm on my way somewhere else. Do we notice the beauty that's here? Do we notice the love that's here? The possibility right here? How much are we missing out on? It's a really important question because for most of us there's a deep yearning to live more fully and also a fear and a disappointment that our lives aren't what we're wanting. There's something more. We intuit there's more. So my hope is tonight and in this class, more simple than sometimes other talks, just this sense that there is a training to move from thoughts into our senses. Ajahn Buddhadasa gave a very wonderful teaching. He said, don't do anything that takes you away from your body. You know, that's what a way to practice. You just sit and just don't leave your body. Just stay here. It's a way of planting ourselves in the universe and of being available for the mystery and beauty that's here. So what we'll close in the way we've been kind of touching in through the talk, just to close your eyes again for a few moments. And again, letting go of all the ideas, the thoughts, the notions. And just sense what happens when you, on purpose, reopen your senses. Listening, feeling the aliveness in your body, softening your heart, feeling the heart space that's here, always here. Just letting go again and again into this great mystery. And close with a short verse from the poet Dana Faulds. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still, and just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper. We can remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we'll all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as we forget and find ourselves charging forward without even knowing where we're going, that many times we can make the choice to pause, to breathe, and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Namaste, and thank you for your attention.